the application, you can edit or submit it to the state body for a review. You can also send it to external authorities by email that you've input previously. Once completed, you'll be able to edit the event in risk management. We'll look at the event management section of the website. First is the competition management, deciding where your entries will be taken. Fees, this you can put by category, or you may have all categories in one with the same fee. This can be as detailed as you require based on the requirements of the event. You can also choose different prices between a member and non-member, membership requirements, and understanding the insurance policies of Cycling Australia. Next, you'll see race management. Here, if you have any specific technical regulations with regards to the event, those can be uploaded in a PDF or a Word doc. Event registration, simply input the location and you can change the time. If you have multiple locations, those can be added as necessary. The event schedule, so for each stage, when each group might start. If you have more than one group, you can add further fields and change the time. You'll have neutral support who it will be provided by. Also communication, looking at two options, radios and who will be provided with those radios if you have that information. This can be detailed to name, or as shown here, physicians. The same with mobile phone numbers. You can provide as deep detail as you have available. As a user, you'll be able to return to any of these using the save and exit later on. You can also skip to those sections that you may not be able to complete at the time. Only those sections with an asterisk require completion. Now into course information. This is specific to the road. You can describe the route that you'll be taking. Again, this is as specific as you have available. As you'll see here, you can provide specifics down each road. Or more basic information as we provide in stage 2. Again, this should be in conjunction with the level of event that you're running. The more information and details you can provide, the better for planning purposes. Start and finish times, or locations. Here again, you can put very specific locations or multiple locations for each stage. Where you have it, you can attach a site plan in an image file. This will provide greater detail if it's necessary at your event. The next section, course details, may be referred to others as the mock-up. You can upload it, as you can see below, or provide specific course numbers and points on the course. So this module allows you to build your course mock-up, or the details, quite simply by adding each point, then the kilometer number and the descriptor. If your event has cutoff times, those should be included here, specifically talking to local authorities in consideration of safety when determining these cutoff times is important. Other race-specific items such as QOMs, KOMs, and sprints can be added in. If you have multiple, those can use the Add New button. Same can happen for feed stations. And where appropriate, you can attach a site plan. Each of these is designed very specifically or consistently, as you can see, with adding points. Incident and accident management. Now look at the first aid, simply understanding who will be providing it, where they'll be located, and how many vehicles. Incident and accident, so looking again specifically at major, minor, and general emergencies. This should be considered throughout all events, providing details which may be specifically related to your event or across a series of events. Next, you should consider the key personnel who are responsible in the event of any accident. These are simple text boxes with the name, role, and contact number. As with many of the others, you can add multiple people as is necessary for the event. Now we can look at vehicle management with relation to events or vehicles for the event. These are simple text boxes and can be provided with only the information you have at the time and with further information put in later on. This section also looks at team vehicles, if they'll be used, and also any other support vehicles which may be on the course. Event personnel. Our first section looks at the officials and staff with regard to the event. At minimum, you should have the chief commissaire's details. If there are any other individuals you may know at the time, those can be added or added later on. Also, event marshals are key volunteers in any road race. These you may not know the names in the planning process. However, understanding their location and time are critical. If you have any other volunteers who are necessary, those can be added. For more major events, you may consider if there's a dress code or uniform and any catering requirements that are also necessary. Finally, event briefings and training for the volunteers, if those are necessary. Health and safety of the event, specifically cleaning, fill up bins. Let's look at it on every particular stage. Also, toilet details, providing the specific information. You should note either of these might be coming from an external contractor or simply at the race site. If your event will be using accreditation, you can upload the accreditation and create a matrix of those being provided with accreditation. For more major events with an expo or food stalls, this will create a list of those individuals and any applications of licenses that are required. You can also provide details of water supply and if you'll be using any PA systems. With relation to PA systems, you should note the requirements of the local landowners. the race logistics and operation. So this provides the information on bump in and bump out. Which is critical for any authorities to understand the use of the area if beyond the day of competition. The system also allows you to create an equipment list detailing any equipment that might be necessary for the event and who might be supplying it. If you're using any power or lighting, it should be noted within the planning process here. A list of external contractors and suppliers can be made through a simple name and resource text boxes, and you can add further, again using the Add New button. Competitor signage or the signage plan can be detailed here. This can be competition signage, also other signage that might need to be erected. The program will allow you to continue to add, which will provide a very detailed signage plan. Contingency plans. So each event should consider their time of the year and their own risks around contingency planning. The program looks at wet weather, lightning, poor light, bushfires, accidents, absences of people, delayed starts, and other traffic conditions. Simply choose the issue, and in the text box what the plan is around that. You should add all of the relevant contingencies to your particular event. Those that aren't relevant, you can skip. Important to any road event is the traffic and transport section. Firstly, looking at parking. Again, like many of the other maps, you can provide an upload and choose the relevant file should you have necessary parking arrangements. Next, it's road closures. If you are providing road closures, those can simply be added with details of where each of those are taking place. Detours are set up in a very similar way with the date, road, and details and times. These will each create a listing which will be available in the final output. As you'll see, speed reductions and traffic control are set up in a similar fashion. You should detail all of those, which may be included in your traffic control plan. This will provide an easy list for anyone who's reviewing the plans. If you're using traffic control plans, those can be uploaded as a PDF or Word document and will be inserted directly into the final output. Also details on variable message boards can be inserted by a text box and date box. The same can happen with event warning signs. For larger events, you may be looking at pedestrian management issues. Again, this is not a required field, however, in consultation with local authorities, event organizers may consider this appropriately. Event marshals, as detailed before, are an important part of the overall planning process. Those can simply be added as necessary. You'll see if you do have an error, you should go back, check your plan, clarify the issue. That'll allow you to continue. For more major events, again, communication plans are becoming increasingly important. This will allow you to develop the necessary communication plan, which can be articulated to the planning authorities. So this will include advertising, signage, resident notification. Under the help button here, there is a example resident notification which you can use. And also any statutory authorities who need to be contacted. You'll be doing any accommodation or arrivals and departures. Those can all be included in the planning process here. prizes and presentations. So you can add all the prizes as we've done here in a single text box, or add each separately. These will provide slightly different outputs, but can be done at your discretion. Marketing and public relations. If your event is larger with logos and marketing objectives, this will allow you to build that plan. This will also allow you, for smaller events, to start thinking in regards to building those marketing requirements for any event as you grow. Each of the sections here is a simple text box, however none are mandatory requirements. The final section is the document output. This allows you to download your event management plan. This will be available in the user panel. Or find a number of supplementary downloads that either have been provided to you or as part of your planning process.